Squidward noticed the customer's Krabby Patty only had 10 sesame seeds on top. It was one seed less than the standard 11. He stepped forward at once and took the Krabby Patty from the customer. Then he went to the storeroom to get a new bun. Just when I stretched out my hand to grab one, I heard a faint cracking sound. The chain snapped all of a sudden, and the shelf crashed down hard.
My heroic and brave actions were halted by an unsafe shelf.
Squidward collapsed on the ground and lay there for nearly 6 hours. The dining hall was already full of ordering customers. Mr. Krabs heard the commotion and came out to check. Only then did he find out Squidward was missing. He walked into the kitchen to ask SpongeBob. The two then found Squidward inside the storeroom. Mr. Krabs' eyes were full of worry, but what he worried about was not Squidward at all. He felt distressed about the scattered and damaged buns all over the floor. Squidward was extremely angry. After all, he twisted his ankle while on duty. According to the regulations, the boss shall bear full responsibility. SpongeBob told Mr. Krabs the regulations enthusiastically. Upon hearing the words of huge fines, Mr. Krabs panicked instantly. Squidward took out his phone and planned to report Mr. Krabs. To avoid the fine, Mr. Krabs knelt down on the spot to calm Squidward, promised to take care of him completely until he fully recovered. Then he carefully carried Squidward to a chair. Now, Squidward also demanded that Mr. Krabs take his shift instead of him. If he did not rest well, his sprained ankle would leave a permanent injury. In that case, the compensation would more than double. A large crowd of anchovy customers rushed over to place orders. SpongeBob came to make an accident report. Mr. Krabs wanted to hide this accident and told SpongeBob to investigate the truth of the accident involving Squidward. SpongeBob asked Patrick Star for help. Squidward thoroughly lived a comfortable life recovering from injury. He sunbathed leisurely on the roof. Mr. Krabs brought in tea. He ordered Mr. Krabs to massage his feet. Mr. Krabs was very unwilling. Squidward pretended to call the labor bureau. Mr. Krabs snatched the phone at once, using massage oil as an excuse. After he came back, he urged SpongeBob to hurry up and find out exactly what had happened. SpongeBob saw Patrick covered all over with wounds.
We must be missing something. Patrick, we're going to need help even more expert than you.
A customer walked in to place an order. Mr. Krabs took the money and turned around to make a Krabby Patty. His hands were covered with massage oil. Mr. Krabs gave the customer a Krabby Patty covered in massage oil. Squidward also told Mr. Krabs to scrape the barnacles off his body. Squidward shouted loudly. All the customers walked out of the Krusty Krab after seeing this scene. Right at this moment, a labor inspector suddenly showed up. It turned out he was the staff SpongeBob had found. SpongeBob could not figure out the truth by himself. When he saw the inspector, Squidward immediately pretended to be seriously injured. After the on-site inspection, the inspector gave the judgment. In the end, Mr. Krabs was fined $1. Mr. Krabs could not accept it and burst into tears on the spot. Suddenly, Mr. Krabs saw the surveillance camera installed in the storeroom. He pulled up the surveillance footage right away. The footage showed Squidward slacking off and sleeping on the shelf. The shelf broke under his weight. Mr. Krabs was furious after learning the truth, and he would make Squidward pay the price. Squidward was covered all over with cement. He rolled down the hillside. He fell from a sewer into jellyfish fields. After being shocked by jellyfish, the cement on his body hardened. He could neither speak nor move. It was the 5th day since he turned into the cement monster. He was almost starving to death. As he wandered around, he met SpongeBob and Patrick. Squidward roared at them. SpongeBob thought he might be an endangered animal. He decided to keep this creature as a pet. SpongeBob took Squidward home. He showed him his new home and named him Smelly. Squidward cried sadly. SpongeBob introduced Gary to Squidward. Gary smelled Squidward and started to attack. SpongeBob immediately put on gloves and carried Gary away. SpongeBob said Gary had never acted like this before. He had to take him to Patrick's house. When Patrick tied him up with a rope, he saw his own house. He wanted to play catch with Smelly, but Squidward could not move and got hit over and over. Squidward reached his limit and tried to attack Patrick. Patrick immediately called animal control. Squidward took the chance and left the rock house. He was about to go home when the animal control officers arrived. SpongeBob was reading the newspaper and came out right away after hearing the noise. He explained that Smelly was just a wild animal. After hearing that, the officers said they would take him to the zoo. Squidward was locked in a cage. Everyone laughed at him and called him an ugly thing. SpongeBob thought Smelly should not be made fun of. He swore to rescue Smelly. That night, SpongeBob and Patrick headed to the zoo. Patrick only cared about food. SpongeBob snatched his hot dog away. SpongeBob tied a rope and climbed down. He noticed the rope shaking violently. It turned out Patrick got tangled in the rope. SpongeBob pulled the rope apart, and Patrick fell down. Squidward was woken up by the noise. He was about to go check it out.
Understand? We are taking you home.
Squidward did not want to go with them, but they had already opened the cage and carried him away. Just then, the animal control staff found them. The bureau sent everyone to chase them. While running away in panic, the two saw a sewer entrance. Patrick threw Squidward down hard. Then SpongeBob stepped on Squidward's face as he climbed down. They escaped the search team. Great, we are a happy family again. Squidward cried after hearing that. They kept walking through the dark sewer. SpongeBob saw light ahead. They arrived at an enchanted forest. They saw many creatures that looked just like Squidward. Patrick tossed Squidward right into the middle of those creatures. Squidward was surrounded. Those creatures lifted Squidward up and carried him away. When Squidward was thrown down, he saw a clarinet player standing on the platform. He was happy to be here. SpongeBob put a glass dome over Gary's body. Even though it fit perfectly, the veins showing through Gary's pink skin looked a little creepy. It turned out that SpongeBob had accidentally broken Gary's original shell. At that time, SpongeBob was sleeping and was woken up by noises outside the bedroom. So SpongeBob grabbed a tennis racket to check what was going on, even though he was very scared. When he got downstairs, he saw his false teeth moving around wildly. Besides that, his favorite pair of shoes was jumping all over the place too. SpongeBob raised his hand toward the shoes. He slapped it hard and knocked Gary out from inside. Gary crashed into a bucket filled with sand, covered all over with foam. SpongeBob saw that Gary was not hurt. He patted Gary's shell, and Gary's shell broke into pieces. At first, Gary was heartbroken, so SpongeBob tried to glue the broken shell back together. The shell split apart almost right after being glued. SpongeBob looked for many different things, including even his own pants, but none of them worked. Just as SpongeBob was about to put a helmet on Gary, Gary suddenly threw a book straight at SpongeBob's face. It was a magazine full of content about snail shells.
Page 72. Here it is. Wow! And for the affordable price of just $95.95.
The only problem was the price was way too expensive. Then a snail shell commercial suddenly came on TV. Jack's Shell Shop was having a huge snail shell sale. The next second, SpongeBob rushed straight to the store. Jack was thrilled, thinking his advertisement had finally worked. He first showed SpongeBob a pink snail shell. It looked almost identical to Gary's original shell. Unfortunately, it was the wrong size. The shell slipped off Gary and shattered. Jack brought out a yellow snail shell next. This time, the size was a perfect match, but SpongeBob wanted to test if it would slip off again. SpongeBob decided to grab a new shell himself. As soon as SpongeBob turned around, the shell hit Jack and broke. Then SpongeBob spotted another beautiful snail shell. However, the second he picked it up, he tripped over his own shoelace and fell to the ground. This shell broke as well. After that, Jack carefully picked out an incredibly strong shell for Gary, but the shell was so shiny that the light was almost blinding. SpongeBob couldn't even keep his eyes open. He kept stepping backward and accidentally knocked over the shells behind him. In the next second, every snail shell in the store fell and shattered. Jack's entire inventory was completely destroyed. Jack took out the last metal snail shell. This time, SpongeBob was prepared. He tied his shoelaces tightly, wiped the sweat off his hands, and even covered his hands with thick protective foam gloves. Nervously, he reached out and picked up the shell, but somehow, disaster struck again. The last metal snail shell also broke. The shop owner finally lost his patience.
And I demand immediate payment!
Take it. It's all my savings.
SpongeBob left Jack's shop with Gary. SpongeBob picked a cardboard shell out of a trash can for Gary, but the moment Gary saw the cardboard shell, it suddenly started crying. SpongeBob felt so guilty that he cried, too. Just then, Mr. Krabs showed up. SpongeBob traded free work to get a shell from Mr. Krabs. That night, SpongeBob suddenly woke up and got a fright when he saw a crab shell. Later, he found out it was Gary's new shell. Many people did not notice the true identity of Patrick's grandfather. One day, grandfather was sleeping. His sweet dream was interrupted. He found all his collections were gone. He went to the second-hand market
My belongings are not for sale!
and traded a lollipop covered with armpit hair for his treasure chest. Another customer wanted to buy the strange thumb. Grandpa gave her another lollipop. She left. Grandpa started telling memories about these items. Just at this moment, Patrick's grandfather sensed his rusty dental floss pliers. When he saw the rusty dental floss pliers being used as a nose hair puller, his grandfather got very angry, so he began to recall. It turned out that in the Middle Ages, Patrick's grandfather was the only dentist in the kingdom. One day, when he was treating a guest with a toothache, pulling out the last bad tooth, the royal jellyfish from the palace delivered a letter from the princess. The letter said the princess had a terrible toothache and invited him to cure her. Grandpa was extremely excited after receiving the letter. He swore he must cure the princess. Grandpa rode his only little donkey. After arriving at the kingdom, the donkey brayed. The princess had been waiting for him for a long time. Grandpa immediately arranged an examination for the princess, but found the one with the toothache was not the princess. At this time, the princess blew a whistle. It turned out the one with the toothache was her fire-breathing pet dragon. Grandpa's donkey saw the scene and ran away in terror. Though Grandpa himself was very scared, he did not want to disappoint the princess. He stepped firmly into the dragon's mouth to look for the damaged tooth. Suddenly, Grandpa's hammer hit a soldier wearing armor. This soldier and another soldier had been trapped here for nearly 100 years. The other soldier had already turned into a skeleton. The soldier heard Grandpa was looking for the damaged tooth and told him the exact position. Following the soldier's instructions, Grandpa successfully found the damaged tooth. This tooth was full of holes. A group of bats lived inside the holes. Grandpa tapped it once with the hammer. The fire dragon immediately shot flames out in pain. Grandpa then took out tools to pull out the bad tooth, but the dragon shot another burst of fire. This made Grandpa's tooth extraction work impossible to carry on, and Grandpa could not pull it out alone. So he found the princess and two soldiers to help. Just as they pulled hard on the tooth, the fire dragon shot another stream of fire because of the pain, blackening everyone all over. When the dragon was about to spit fire once more, the princess sprayed water from her nose. The damaged tooth was also pulled out. The princess kissed him excitedly. The princess, the dragon and the rescued soldiers said goodbye to Grandpa together. The memory ended. Grandpa planned to trade a lollipop for the dental floss puller in the buyer's hand. The buyer thought it was too small. Grandpa took out a huge lollipop. The buyer finally left. His granddaughter complained they almost made the sale. Grandpa said it could not be sold. Unexpectedly, Grandpa still kept the dragon's damaged tooth and wrapped it with tape.